Charlie Kirk never hurt anybody. Charlie Kirk wasn't oppressing anybody. Charlie Kirk went to college campuses and he invited his opposition to come have conversations with him. He taught his followers. He preached to his followers, show the people on this campus the respect that they don't show us. Do not be disrespectful to them. Do not boo them. Do not laugh at them. Do not ridicule them. Show them what we don't get. And there are clips of him doing and saying this. He loved the people who disagreed with him. He believed that they were God's creation and that everyone should love them. And that's who Charlie Kirk was. And he was gunned down in broad daylight because people didn't like his opinions, not because he was oppressing anybody. All right, you're good.
So the sign on the right says nobody should be killed
For their opinions.
over their opinions.
Yes.
So that is coming from what? Your moral compass?
Yes.
What gives you the right to oppose your moral compass on others?
Yeah, so I'm not saying that I have a right to impose my moral compass on other people, but what I am doing is making the case for my set of morals to the best of my ability and basically positing them or posing them against you or anybody else who's here. So my personal belief is that every human individual ought to have the right not to be unjustly aggressed upon. I think that anytime you unjustly aggress upon a person, which would be anytime you touch, harm, or hurt another person or their property without their permission or without a first act of aggression, I think that that is wrong and immoral. So like, for example, if I walk up to David and I punch him in the face, that's unjust aggression towards David. If David punches me in the face and I punch him back, that's self-defense. I'm justly aggressing him in response to his unjust aggression. And that's what guides most of my moral principles.
Can I ask you another question?
Absolutely.
Where are you getting that moral compass from? Where does that come from? Why do you think that?
It's the non-aggression principle. That's where I'm not, if you're asking if I'm religious, I'm not religious. So I generally have found this principle, the non-aggression principle, to be, in my opinion, the most flawless moral code. I think that it plays into essentially any situation related to morals. Why is stealing wrong? Well, stealing's wrong because stealing, theft of property, is unjust aggression. Why is abortion wrong? It's unjust aggression. Why is murder wrong? Unjust aggression. Why is, name a crime, is unjust aggression. Why is slavery bad? It's unjust aggression.
Okay, so from my understanding, that's a very reactive or passive stance. So when it comes to someone who is the aggressor, you think, and I'm asking, there's no way that you should be proactive in stopping it? Like, if you can see it, if you can see it coming, you shouldn't stop it? No, because you cannot predict what other people are going to do, and therefore you cannot judge them for what you anticipate they're going to do, unless it's like this, right? Unless it's like this, where I'm like actively you can like see I'm swinging on David, right? But if I'm just espousing a belief and you think that belief is dangerous and could potentially lead to violence, you don't have a right to kill that person just because you think eventually the national progression of this ideal will lead to violence. I think leftists, the natural progression of their ideals will lead to violence. And that's not just because I think that, it's because they say it. They know that they need a violent revolution in order to institute socialism in the United States, otherwise it won't work. The Marxian view requires a violent revolution in order to institute. So I can't kill those people just because I know that they want violence. Okay, so my next question is,
so I'm going to take it out of the case.
At what point, like exactly, do you have the right to stop someone or be proactive, like you said? So right before someone kills him, you can tell they're about to kill him. Mm-hmm. Is that like? Yeah, it's aggression. So it's like a threat, right? So if I swing on David but I miss, that's a threat. That's a threat of violence, right? So it's unjust aggression. So aggression, in this sense, is not just me yelling at David is not aggression in this sense. It would be deemed an aggressive act, like in the colloquial sense. But aggression in this sense means violence or threat of violence. Yeah. So my main question, is that at what point can you be proactive, but you could be the aggressor instead of the reactor in terms of if you see the just aggressor. You could be the just aggressor if somebody's threatening. You could be the just aggressor if somebody is actively attacking you or threatening to attack you in a credible way.
Like self-defense, right? Like self-defense, you would agree that's just aggression.
Yeah. So, but if you are protecting someone else, is that considered just aggression? Oh yeah, sure, yeah. For sure, yeah. If you're protecting somebody else that you're like, but I think there has to be a degree of observation. Like, I've actually done this, right? Like one of my colleagues, Katie Davis Court, was being chased down by Antifa militants in Seattle, and she was chased into an intersection. This is a little like
small woman, right? And I had to pepper spray them to defend her, right? Because I could see the threat against her. She was chased into an intersection, oncoming traffic, et cetera, et cetera. I think there has to be a level of observation. I think you have to actually watch something go down physically and then respond in the moment. But what I don't think you can do is like, if I punch David right now, and then I walk away, and then tomorrow David sees me and he shoots me with a gun, he doesn't have the right to, you know what I mean? It's the time has passed. He's no longer under threat.
Okay, I have another question.
Absolutely.
So, would it be fair to argue that, like you said, the liberals, conservatives, they're using violence to incite socialism? Would it be fair to say that that is a type of just aggression from their perspective?
Wait, what do you mean? Say again.
Like, they're using violence to promote socialism, like you said, right?
Uh-huh.
From their perspective, could that be seen as just aggression?
No, because I think it's abstract, right? Again, like you have to. This is self-defense, right? So you have to.
But
I'm not
objectively.
You could like this. Where this rabbit hole will ultimately lead is like whether or not capitalism is bad, which ultimately isn't the argument. I think that's where it would ultimately go. If somebody is like actively oppressing other people, if somebody's actively oppressing people and has them in chains, then I think yes, ultimately you can like justly aggress that institution that's oppressing people back. And I don't want to get into the specific, like the moral argument of whether or not capitalism or socialism is good, because it's going to lead us down like a long rabbit hole. But yeah, sure, fine. I would say that can be a form of just aggression if you rebel against like an unjust government, for example.
So to understand your point of view, what you're saying is it could be said that from their perspective it's just aggression, but from your perspective, what they're doing is not just aggression. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
absolutely. Yeah, I don't believe that they are acting justly in aggression.
So would you say that you guys are just
no, I wouldn't say like, so for example, right here, so generally those, like what leftists are trying to rebel against is like the government, right? Because they believe the government is oppressing them, right? There's a difference between aggressing against an unjust government and trying to prevent oppression and gunning a man down in broad daylight sitting behind a table just like this one because he had a difference of opinion. Charlie Kirk never hurt anybody. Charlie Kirk wasn't oppressing anybody. Charlie Kirk went to college campuses and he invited his opposition to come have conversations with him. He taught his followers. He preached to his followers. Show the people on this campus the respect that they don't show us. Do not be disrespectful to them. Do not boo them. Do not laugh at them. Do not ridicule them. Show them what we don't get. And there are clips of him doing and saying this. He loved the people who disagreed with him. He believed that they were God's creation and that everyone should love them. And that's who Charlie Kirk was. And he was gunned down in broad daylight because people didn't like his opinions, not because he was oppressing anybody.
I want you to look behind you. You see that tall building with the GSU on there? Mm-hmm. Somebody was sitting at a building like this because people like us sit behind a table like this expressing our positions and was gunned down for that. Right? He's not some political authority. He's not a member of Congress that can enact his positions. He was simply going to campuses and laying out his position in a very civil and tolerant way. So there's no, in my opinion, I don't see a way to justify that, even if you're on the socialist side or communist side and you believe that this is a fascist that is trying to oppress you. There's no justification for it. It seems to me what they wanted to do is end Charlie Kirk's movement because he's a very effective individual. Yeah, I mean, there's really no justification for it.
So, I hear what you're saying, and I'm just trying to understand. So, you believe that there's no justification for the killing of Charlie Kirk, but the people, I'm seeing a lot of rhetoric from the opposite side saying that it was just, and your whole argument is just that.
It's greens that's on.
No, you're good.
You're good.
I'm just making sure this
Sorry,
isn't blown
I'm listening.
out. It's not blown out.
Just start again. Okay. Said the one side is justifying the murder.
Yeah, so they're justifying it, like they have a justification
Who's they?
for it. I guess you can say on the conservative, liberal,
It's good.
Democratic side, like.
Conservatives are justified.
Sorry. Liberal, not conservative. Liberal, like.
Okay, like left-leaning.
Yeah, on the left side, like they are saying that it's a justified killing, but you're saying it's not a justified killing. So how can you determine what is just and what is not? Because he said it's about the aggression, right?
Yeah, I think it's exactly what I said. Charlie Kirk was not unjustly aggressing anybody. He wasn't harming anybody. And I also want to say,
they would argue that he was aggressing through his rhetoric, and they said it was like harmful
Words
to harm.
yeah, I would say sticks and stones may hurt my bones, but words can never hurt me. Somebody is not unjustly aggressing you. Again, unjust aggression is physical violence because they're saying things that you don't like, or you feel offend people in some emotional way. And I also want to say real quick, before you go into your next point, I really appreciate how respectful you're being, and I really appreciate how respectful the audience is being, and this is what it's all about.
Yeah.
I also want to say that I understand that they can make the claim that Charlie Kirk is a fascist, but that doesn't make him a fascist, right? I can call you racist, right? That doesn't make you racist. So just them calling Charlie Kirk fascist doesn't justify going out and conducting a political assassination at the end of the day.
Okay.
It's arbitrary, right?
So,
like, who's deciding that he's actually a fascist?
That is exactly the point that I'm trying to wrap my head around. Like you said, it's arbitrary. Even the concept of just and unjust, there's a divide. It's arbitrary. So
I believe it's rooted in actual law, right?
in law that humans create,
Yeah.
who decides the law?
Well, it's a combination of everything. It's common law. It's also based on religious law. So right, like, I shouldn't be able to just kill you just because I want to kill you. We used to do that thousands of years ago.
I think that laws, whether I know a lot of people don't like this, but laws are ultimately based on the morals of whoever's writing them and whoever's voting on them. Okay, and so I think what we have to do, and exactly what we're doing today, is arguing for whose morals are the best morals and whose morals basically stand up against everybody else's and are more logically consistent and logically sound. And that's what we have to do, because ultimately morality dictates law, and everybody has a different set of morality and or of morals, right? And so you have to go out and talk to people. If you feel that you have the better set of morals, it's not a, you know, if I feel I have a better set of morals than you, which I do, it doesn't mean you're a bad person. It doesn't mean you're an immoral person. It just means you think differently than me, and that's totally okay. But it's an absolute necessity that we talk about it and figure out who's actually right, because I'm sure you probably think your morals are better than mine. And
so I'm trying to summarize your point. So what's the word? The point, not the point. But what you're trying to achieve.
the objective.
Objective, exactly, of this discussion is to come to an understanding. Would you say that's a good summary?
Yeah. I think I think discussions serve a couple different points. I think our main, we have a couple, especially lately. We have a couple. This tour is planned because Charlie Kirk is dead. We're out here to show people that you can still have discussions, and you can still stand in front of people who disagree with you and talk to them without fear of reprisal in some way. Another reason is we want to provoke thought. So even if you walk away with your mind unchanged, we want you to just like go home and ponder it, right? And we're going to go home and ponder what you're saying. We're here to teach, we're here to learn, and we're here to observe. And I think that's exactly what Charlie was doing as well. And it's also for the people at home. We record it, obviously, so everybody can see these conversations and they can think as well.
Cool, man. You answered my questions. Thank you,
Yeah.
bro.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thanks for coming up and being respectful.
Thank you so